What's happening, YouTube? It is Thursday night. We know what happens on a Thursday night. It's 9 o'clock. It's the Killer Comic Show. And this time, we are all back. You guys are in for a treat. You've got myself, Geeky Guy Comics, Andy from Perpetual Comics, the one and only attention-seeking geek, Ben. And we have, at long last, he's finally taken time out of his hectic schedule. It's the one, the
guns
only,
away.
Tom from Not Quite Min. Welcome back, sir.
Yes.
Oh, hey!
How you doing, dude?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. You guys all right? Have you missed me?
Yes,
I was fine until I saw those muscles struggling to be contained within the t-shirt.
Too much.
I couldn't get a title on me. I'm sorry. I did try.
So it's great to have you back, Tom. Man, you've been missed. You have been missed.
Well, to be honest, I actually thought what happened is I kept missing the memo of what day it was and what time it was. I'm joking, no. Thanks for having me back, to be fair.
Oh, no, it's
good to have you back.
How are we all? All good?
It's good. It's good to have the full Brady bunch here tonight. I feel like it's going to be a challenge to keep us on a leash tonight, Charlie. But I'm sure you've got it all in hand.
I have. I'm going to try. I'm going to follow on from the. It's going to be a bit different. Last week we had obviously Katana Collins, where I was like a puppy, like didn't know what to do. I was doe-eyed and everything like that. But tonight I'm back with my boys. It's going to be good.
We've got to say as well, Charlie, what a great job you did with that interview. To be fair,
Thank you.
You know, in all honesty, didn't know how good a job you would have done, but you actually did an amazing job, and it was a great interview. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, do check out Charlie's interview with Batman, White Knight, Harley Quinn writer Katana Collins. It's a belter.
And we even get treated to seeing Katana Collins' pussy on screen. What? So make sure you check that out. It's not what you think. I'm not as smart as you think. So do check it out. Do check it out. But let's give a massive
live.
Yes, we are live. Yeah, we are live. But let's give a massive shout out to everyone in the chat. We've got myself. We've got Andy. We've got Tom from Not Quite Min. Ben, did you not post a comment? Okay, fair enough.
I didn't know that was a thing that we were going to be talking to ourselves tonight.
We've got Copy 801 from across the pond. We have, where is he? There he is. We've got Firehawk. Hello, sir. We have the one and only Sith Lordley. What is happening? He's probably at work. He'll probably jump on in a couple of hours or something. And we've got the one and only Poptimus joining us. So thank you everyone for joining us in the chat. Now, I'm going to start it a bit differently this week because I'm just going to do a quick unboxing now. Everyone knows I collect comics, I collect the Funko Pops, but these are a new bloody rabbit hole that I can see myself going down. These are soda pops. Now, these have been around for a while, but I've held off buying them because there was nothing that really piqued my interest. I bought these in November from a company that's quite fitting. Well, it's quite actually politically incorrect, but let's just get down to it, right? So we have, this is going to be quicker than the Batman unboxing.
In November, where did they get shipped from? The Bermuda Triangle?
No, they got shipped from the United States, and I bought them thinking, well, you know what? They're not going to be released in the UK for a while. Totally missed that. They came out in the UK before I received these, so I'm pretty pissed off, gutted about that. But we have
from Not Quite Min.
No, I got them.
Not Quite Min. It's terrible.
I got them from a company called
Splat.
No. I already don't like them. No. I'm sorry, guys.
Now, the Poptimus UK will know this, right? And see that he's already said that'll be spastic collectibles. It is. I'm not sure how they've got away with that in the US, but I'm not sure if it means.
Surely it must. Let's just hope that it means something different out there. Like it means like a type of utensil or something. I don't know. But
I'm hoping it does. But yeah, the product is pretty.
And what the hell were you Googling to find that company as well?
Exactly. Yeah.
I was looking for window cleaners, and that came up. So
wow.
But,
I didn't know that was this kind of show. I might have to leave, I'm afraid.
See ya.
but here, look, in all fairness, great company. In fairness, really, really good. They were Spastic Pops up until recently.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm not sure if Spastic Pops
How on earth do you get away with that kind of name? Spastic Pops.
is any better. But look, right, so here we have it. We've got the Marvel, Avengers, Thanos, and we have...
So is that an actual drink then that comes with it?
So it's just a can. It's just like
right,
okay. It's the same as... It's a bit bigger. And then we've got...
I know what can is.
And then we have Harley, and we have Harley Quinn, the donut.
It's like a really crap show and tell. This is a can.
So again, these are the same as Pops.
Together, it's a can.
Yeah, can. These are the same as Pops. You can get, like, there's a chance of a chase. So this is the 12,500 piece, and she comes with a baseball bat, and then the chance of a chase is her holding her mallet. And then Thanos is him with his endgame armor on, and the chase is without a helmet. So, any preference on what one we do first?
Go Thanos, mate.
Couldn't care less, Charles.
I'm still waiting for your. I'm still on 68 of your cards, aren't we? Right, so it all comes back. You don't know what you're getting.
I love the artwork, to be fair, on the Harley Quinn one at the front.
So it comes with a little pog, right? So this is there was no chase this time. It was just a standard Thanos. There we go. Comes with a little black bag. You don't know what you're getting.
I think those artworks are very kind of Hanna-Barbera style.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I mean, look, they are
like if Thanos was in the Flintstones, that's what it'd look like.
Ah,
they are pretty.
That's
cool.
nice.
He's quite hefty, to be fair.
Yeah.
Right.
Copy 801 has said about what spastic means in the USA.
Okay, so too far off.
Oh, okay.
So it's slightly different.
It is slightly different. Yeah. And yeah, the plot is Funko also has a range called Spastic Plastic, but that changed to Fantastic Plastic recently.
It's probably because their marketing department did a bit of research, maybe, and looked up what something means universally.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm thinking so.
Google is a marvelous tool,
and then
really, and a dangerous.
Let's get into this one. I don't think I've got a chase on this one. No, again, just standard. I don't have much luck with chases, to be fair. I really don't.
I love that artwork.
Right. And then once we do this, we can get into the comic shit. So there we go. Right, there she is.
Yeah, nice. They're smart little things. I get it.
They're strong.
They are. But I can see this
nice.
is just
Pick of the week right there, mate. Job done.
This is just a new thing for me. Right, there we go. That is my pick of the week. There we go. Right, so anyway, we're here to talk about comics. Pretty good week for comics, would you say so? Better than the last few weeks, anyway.
I thought it was a great week. Some of the indies that came out this week were fantastic. But then there was some really, really bad comics. And we're really probably going to go into a couple of them this week.
I was thinking maybe we should start with... Yeah, I don't know. Why don't we start with one of the first ones? Yeah, let's do it. Ben, would you like to talk about this comic to begin with?
Yes. So, full disclosure as well, we were going to talk about Avengers Curse of the Man thing.
Well, that's what I thought we were talking about. I didn't read this one.
Well, that's because, Tom, you didn't read the messages.
Well, that's because, mate, I've had other things on.
So
I guess
Ben, can I just say I'm looking for a personal apology from you for you making me read 2 of the worst books I've read this year.
Oh, okay. Now, come on. So, Curse of the Man thing. Okay, very, very quick. Long story short, because I know we're not reviewing that today. It was not great, and I was excited about it. Ironically, my excitement was about the Man thing, and didn't feature much in the Man thing book. So that was that. This was something that I was really excited about as well.
Before you get into it, the covers, I have to say, were pretty decent. Like there's around about 8 covers. I mean, we'll go through some of them now.
My favourite is actually the one from Darren Warren Johnson himself. Yeah, this one. Well, not this one.
It's variant
It's
A.
the one
and then
with
we have
more colour.
variant
That's
B.
the one. Yeah.
This is the homage to 337, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quality.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's really not far off at all. It's like near enough the same image. This is a really cool one as well. That last one.
I quite like this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's a screenshot from like an animated film or something, doesn't it? It's nice that.
That's
So-
right on the street, that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a massive Better Ray Bill fan. I honestly, that's one of my favourite stories. That original kind of Thor story. So I was kind of really excited about him getting this solo run. I think it's come at a weird time. That's the only thing. I think this probably could have come, 15 years ago, to be quite honest. But I loved it, and I did, and I'll tell you for why. So that, like, for me, I think it starts to kind of peel back the curtain a little bit more, as to kind of seeing Better Ray Bill when he was like a Corbynite. I think we're going to get a lot more of that. We only got a couple of snippets of him before he was selected as their champion. And I think that's going to be really interesting to see, because when he did debut in Thor, we kind of didn't get a lot of that, really. He was already kind of beefcaked up and horse-faced up, ready to kind of rock and roll. So I'm excited to kind of see those Corbynite origins for him. I think it gave a great insight into his kind of personality a little bit more as well, what he's self-conscious about, the fact that he's clearly got a bit of a kind of competitive complex with Thor, and I enjoyed that. And I think above all, like all of that stuff aside, which was good, it was just like action-packed. It was fun. Like the action was kind of, it wasn't too intense. It was kind of all a bit tongue-in-cheek, and it was just a good, fun comic. I really enjoyed it. I think it had great action, good art, good humor, immersed within kind of good character moments. And I kind of relate to an ugly guy who wants to go away and find his beautiful inner self.
That's what happened to me, mate.
So yeah, that's why I liked it. Why did you not like it, Andy?
Thanks for asking, Ben.
Business.
Thanks for asking. So it's very rarely that I read a book where absolutely nothing happens. And I also don't appreciate a book that has artwork that has the words written on it. So like bang or like charge. And it's
Have
like,
you ever read that comic book?
I can see that Richard, like, come on, look, wait, hold on, I need to. So things like that. I enjoyed when your man Foom was in it. I thought that was pretty cool. But by the end of it, I just went, what have I done for the last 28 pages? What's happened here? What's like? I actually messaged Charlie and said, Charlie, I'm really sorry, but I'll never get that time back. Nobody will ever give me that time. And that was your second option. So I thought you'd learn from the first option that you choose. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay,
what I did.
Which one did you prefer, that or Man Thing?
That's like not a great
Or is that like
choice.
asking who do you prefer, like Trump or Jeffrey Epstein?
It wasn't a great choice. Let me just put it that way.
Okay.
But I appreciate you making me read it. There has been some stuff that you've sort of picked, but that's why I've learned that your taste in comics is completely different from mine, and that's why I love you, Ben.
Hey, if we were all the same, it wouldn't be as interesting, would it?
you know
Tom,
what
you're usually Mr. Positive. Can you back me up?
I'd love to, mate, but unfortunately, I didn't read it.
Oh,
However, I did read Curse of the Man Thing, and I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. I thought the breakdown of the bits into like chapters was a bit unnecessary, and I didn't really understand the story. But I liked the artwork. I thought the artwork was great.
My first comment for this when I was writing my notes was "Thing Fang Fucking rubbish."
I love it.
Yes.
Because right, some might love
Look
it.
at Ben's face.
I
He's devastated.
I weren't one of them people, man. I just didn't get it. I think like the most entertaining part for me was Thor coming back and getting like his shirt taken off when he was at the table, getting all drunk, and the fact that they was watching Hook on TV. That was the most entertaining thing for me. I mean, Horseface just got emasculated there
That's
and
Bill.
then.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, Bill.
Bill.
Sharp boy.
Him and Sharp Man.
I mean, he goes off to do the dirty with his neighbour, Lady Sif, and
Hey, bro. Oh, nice.
and she just mugged him off. She was like, "Yeah, I'm not really up for a bestiality."
Yeah, I did think that was like really like that was a bit weird. Like it was like lady like because if you've seen Better Ray Bill without his horse get up. They're still not that. They're still like flat faced, like just eyes and a mouth. Like they're very kind of weird, featureless looking aliens. So it's kind of weird that Lady Sif clearly has a bit of a penchant for that.
Bit like Morph.
Yeah, they're like little skinny morphs. So if anything, I'd probably rather go for some like beefcake with a horse face. He's just a paper bag job at the end of the day, isn't he?
It depends what you're into. I've got like the art. I quite like the artwork, but the story for me was just so. Obviously, this takes place after him and Thor have had fisticuffs, but it's still going on while the King in Black's happening because obviously that comes while Thor's fighting Null. Everything he's still on Asgard trying to get a bit of nookie with Lady Sif, but. I honestly thought that the best part about it was when Thor came back, and I'm not really bothered about picking up the rest of the issues. Right, I think that was just for a first issue, didn't really make an impression as I thought it was. I was really looking forward to it, and on Tom's show we were talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, this is something really to get into."
Dude, you have to give it at least 2 issues before you drop it.
Yeah, but
always the first issue could be crap, and then the second issue could pull it back. If both
it was crap.
Tom, I gave it 28 pages.
Okay, all right, when you put it that way. But still, you've got to get up. I mean, I always give a book 2 issues to try and pull it back just in case. It's the same with the TV show. You have to give it 2 episodes. It's like if you'd have only watched the first episode of WandaVision, you'd have been like, "What the fuck have they done with this?" Whereas if you watched 2 episodes, and
those were my favorite episodes. The first 2 episodes of WandaVision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's sad for me to hear this, but luckily I don't value your opinion. So.
I mean, I'm trying to back you up, mate.
No, I'm there for the second issue. I'm really excited. I loved it. I thought it was really good fun, and I can't wait to kind of delve deeper into the psyche of our little ray of sunshine. That's what I like to call him.
Ben, are you going to pick this for your next
every week?
Every week? Is it out every week?
Yeah.
Is it out every week? So on that note, shall we make a smooth transition into Silk?
Oh, okay. So this one was my pick. Yeah.
Now, again, for me, there's some fantastic covers out. This is the Zoo or Zoo, variant B, variant A, the one and only Scotty Young. And then we've just got, who's this one? This is the Peach Momoko Comic Grail Singapore Vault. This has got another one, the Virgin. We've got Nei Young Woo. This one.
Yeah.
Can get this. Where's this? This is available at.
It's available, mate. At a shop we might know.
Ching 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 ching. Ding a ling a ling a ling. And then we've got the main cover. This is pretty.
Wow,
by
nice.
Yoon. This is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a cool cover. I like this.
That's my favourite one. I like that.
Jen Bartel killing it again. And then what else we got? Yep, there she is again with the Women's History Month variant. And then we've got Jae Young Lee again with the Virgin. This is the variant B.
That's nice.
Variant A. This one is again. He's got 4 covers this week. We have Jay Ancelotto.
Another one at Not Quite Mint job.
There we go. Ding ding. Bengal. And then that's it. So yeah, Tom, what did you think about this comic?
Well, I actually want to throw this to Andy to start with because he didn't like it, and I want to know why, because I did like it.
Guys, I'm feeling a bit attacked today.
Yeah, go on, tell me why.
Jeez, my goodness. Okay, so let me start with the positive. We'll do a bit of a shit sandwich, shall we, guys? So the best thing about this book was the fantastic covers. That's what's going to sell this book. And the second thing that's going to sell this book is the potential of new characters. So first appearances. So all the speculators are going to go absolutely nuts for this book. But then what they'll do is they'll read the book and then they'll realize that it's a pretty poorly written book. The art isn't the greatest. And the best thing about it is the coloring in it. I think the colorist was Ian Herring. I didn't know a huge amount about this particular character, Cindy. And I'm glad that I don't.
Grumpy Scotsman.
Yeah, very grumpy Scotland tonight.
And he's just broken up from work as well. You think he'd be a bit more happy, but you know what? We love Andy. He speaks the truth.
This is as happy as I get, guys. I'm from the East End of Glasgow.
Let's hear the defense, Tom.
Okay, so I actually really liked this book. I thought it was simple. So yeah, the story, I would agree with Andy slightly that the way it's written isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea, especially if you like a really in-depth book. But from a simplicity point of view, I thought it was very good.
It was very simple. I definitely agree. It was very simple. Tom. Yeah,
I think it hooks you in a little bit. Gives you a bit of intrigue about this demonic character, this cat character at the end. You get a little bit of the fact that Cindy's now going to be starting her new job working for Jonah Jameson. But she's old school, which I quite like. I like the idea that they kind of went down the line that, yes, she's young, but she's old school. She uses like old school techniques and stuff, which is technically what her Silk character is about. She's like a modern version of Peter Parker, but with some old school techniques. So I thought that was pretty cool. I actually really liked the artwork. I thought, again, it was quite scratchy, but old school. And I like that. And I do agree with Andy. I think that it's very well coloured, which also made it pop. I do also agree that the speculators are going to go mad for it because it's got brand spanking new characters. And the covers are insane. But I did really like it. I just thought it was a really fun, simple comic you could pick up and have some fun with.
That is not scratchy.
There's some scratchy bits, mate.
That's poor.
That's poor. That one, but you're showing like a really shite one. I'm trying to find a better one now. It's right. It's quite hard work, actually.
Look, I mean, I'm going to disagree with you both. Can I say? I don't think it was simple. I thought it had far too much like speech going on to the point where I completely lost interest and kind of lost track of that story. And I mean, even that page, look how, like, I don't want to listen to, like, the thing is, Jonah is, like, fun when it's, like, short, quick rants. And, yeah, I mean, look at that. I would have picked up a Silk novel if I wanted a Silk novel. And I didn't. I wanted an action-packed first, issue. And I just completely lost interest. I do think, though, that Cindy currently is a better Peter Parker than Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. Like the way that she was kind of fighting the scenes and, with her little quips and things like that, she felt a lot more Spider-Man than Spider-Man is currently feeling to me, if anyone is reading that. If you are, I'm sorry, because it's hard work. I've always hated that suit. So I just wanted to throw that in. So all the covers are gorgeous, but I just hate the suit. I hate the character design. Yeah, I just found it hard to follow. I wasn't a fan, I'm afraid. I know I'm usually flying that Marvel flag, but it's blown away.
So I found it a little bit simpler to read. As a dyslexic, I found it easier to read than some other comics that I've read this week.
Really?
A lot easier to follow.
Well, I've got to say, like, the one thing for me that I didn't, so I'm just trying to drop all your links in the chat. The one thing that I didn't understand is that, so Cindy Moon, I think her last issue finished, her last run finished in 2017, and obviously she's been in like the Agents of Atlantis and stuff like that. But I don't think she's good enough to get her own comic, if I'm honest. I don't like, and obviously this is what's her name? It's the first comic written by, is it Marina Gu or Marine Gu?
Yes, first Marvel comic was written.
I think she's got an uphill struggle, man. Like honestly, she's done this. Some of the, like, I would say the covers are better than the actual story. There's far too much going on, and for me, the good parts were that Cindy Moon, she kind of feels real, but J. Jonah Jameson, what the hell is going on with him? Like, since when did he become such a nice bloke? And he just doesn't seem himself. Like, if you go back to like the Spider-Man,
have you read Spidey recently?
No, I haven't touched on Spider-Man.
Yeah,
is he the same?
He's not himself in Spidey, to be fair.
He's changed a lot. They've tweaked him a lot.
I mean, because
I just miss the simplicity of like, Parker, you're fired, and that's all I want to hear.
But I think the artwork for me took a lot getting used to, and I kind of think around about page 15, I was kind of like, I'm just going to see this through. And I was really looking forward to this, and I think I got sucked in by the fact that the covers look amazing. Yeah, and then you think, the artwork. But
I was the same. I must admit, whenever I don't know if you guys are the same, but whenever I'm going to read a Marvel comic, at the minute, I find it a real struggle. I'm almost going into the book waiting to be disappointed.
Yeah,
I don't remember the last Marvel book that I read that I went, oh, absolutely, I'm looking forward to that next issue. I can't say that for DC because there's a lot of Batman stuff that I'm enjoying. But with Marvel, it just seems just stick to the TV shows and the movies, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or better Ray Bill, because that's a great book.
It should have been a lot better.
I agree with you guys. Like, I found this week, as soon as I looked about what books to read, I was like, Silk sounds cool because I like the idea of it being a first issue, but absolutely nothing Marvel or DC drew me in to the point where I was like, I'm excited to read this. I was excited slightly to read this, but I was more excited to read the indie books, to be perfectly honest. Like the Power Rangers Unlimited, the one that came out this week, that one I really wanted to read. I was more excited about that kind of stuff.
You know, the weirdest thing at the moment is that we're in a time where the best Marvel comic currently is Venom. Like, that's weird. Think about it. That's not an Avenger. That's not Spider-Man. That's not an X-Men. Like, it's Venom. Like, it's and that's kind of, for me, the only real compelling ongoing at the moment, until I read Better Ray Bill issue 1.
Yeah, I mean, I was really looking forward to this, and then obviously it kind of fell flat again. But again, as Tom just said, it's all about the indie comics, honestly. And I think to be fair, Phil's right. He said Marvel have a mission to all inclusive. In this instance, maybe the comic just isn't for us. Nothing wrong with that. And then, but some kids somewhere will love it. 100%. I mean, if you're a Spider-Man fan, if you're a Black Cat fan, if you're a Spider-Gwen, whatever fan, you're going to like this. But it just seems Marvel seems to be highlighting the artists more than the storytellers.
I guess just to respond to what Phil is saying there, and I totally agree. I'm a fan of all these characters, and I want to be a fan of all these characters. I guess what I'm not a fan of is just really poorly written comics, regardless if it's Marvel, DC, or anybody.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I think so. Then I think on that note, anything else to add to that? I don't think there is there? Not really.
God, that was negative, wasn't it? Those last two comments.
But it's too negative. But this one.
Oh, there we go.
This was, in my opinion,
not
fantastic. This was covered again. This is Zoo or Zoo. We've got, this is the SSCO Franny Virgin variant. This is the one I'm after. I just so want to get hold of this. And then obviously we've got variant B, I think the variant A. And then this one, I think there's something missing on this. This is for all you want to be artists out there. And then
this is coming to me, isn't it? I've got to draw them.
This one, this is for me. This is by, who's this by, Andy?
Jock.
Jock, this comic was freaking awesome to be. It was honestly, it was such a great comic. It was, for me, it was the read of the week. I think for Andy, it was the read of the week. I think for Sif, it was the read of the week. And where do we start? I mean, the story.
Why not? It's my read of the week as well.
And mine.
Go for it. So obviously the main character is Crazy Zadie, she's kind of like a social outcast, really, isn't she?
Well, she wasn't. She's become one, hasn't she, because of the story that happens in it?
Yes, yeah. But it was really engaging, this comic, and again, it's from Image. It's the writer. Is it Joe Henderson?
Yeah.
Is it Joe Henderson? Artwork by Garbett, Fabella, and Boland. But this is it's kind of like, it's a bit close to home, touching on things that, like, she's on her own, she's got her brother's in a coma and stuff like that. But honestly, she just brought her straight into her life, straight from the off.
Yeah, I felt like in the first couple of pages, I knew more about this character than a lot of Marvel and DC characters that I've put a lot of investment in over the years.
Yeah,
straight off the bat, very well written, I think, and the artwork really does it justice too.
Yeah, the artwork's fantastic. I think this book was delayed for quite a while as well. I think it was maybe a month or so ago. But it came on my radar just simply because of the jock cover. And then just going into a little bit more detail. Yes, Ben, I know. But I picked up the main cover and the jock cover, and having read it, I thought it was fantastic. The last panel will blow your mind and will definitely get you to read the second issue. It felt a lot like kind of like Something Is Killing the Children meets a little bit of like Strange Academy. It meets a little bit of like the Spider multiverse as well. It had that sort of feeling about it, but definitely one you should pick up and give it a read. I think Phil had said in the chat about Skyward. That was another book that Joe Henderson done. And that is another great read as well if you haven't read it.
Guys, gush warning. Get your towels. This was incredible. I absolutely love this book. Like, immediately I felt like attached to her emotionally. Like, and I think it was because of that vulnerability that she kind of had after the like failed kiss, which I don't know about you guys, but I related to.
No.
So I was just sort of immediately endeared to her. The twist at the end was fantastic. Thanks for that, Charlie. The twist at the end was fantastic. It had a really good pace of writing, like it just kind of flowed. And but I do think that the original visuals and the artwork from Garbett was like absolutely sensational. It was like so some of the most consistent art I've experienced in a book for a long time, to be honest. Really, I mean,
the story was kind of like a suspenseful thriller, wasn't it? Like, you didn't know what was happening, and it was kind of like Something Is Killing the Children, because in the pages it was that anxious, like, oh, what's going to happen to her next? Is she actually going to get through this and stuff? I thought it was a very interesting read, and I think it is definitely a comic that there's not many comics that I want to pick up like one or two issues or one or two covers of the first one, but this was, I mean, even the main cover is pretty decent. The SSCO Franny, then we've got obviously the jock cover. I'm going to look to pick up all three of them. Like, they're just great covers, and I know, Andy, you're all over the jock one.
Absolutely, 100%.
You know, everyone like relates Erica Slaughter to like Buffy and stuff. If anything, I think this character was more similar to Buffy, because she had those little like smart aleck comments and quips, and she was kind of a bit kind of jokey at times, and Buffy was like that, and whereas Erica Slaughter is tormented and damaged, and she's kind of very down the line and got a job to do, sort of thing. So I know what you're saying, Charlie. It was suspenseful, but it wasn't. It was kind of suspense in a fun way, like if that makes sense.
But I mean, the ending
kind of like handcuffs, but the handcuffs are like covered in like pink fluff. Like it's like danger, but it's not really.
It's
Are we talking from experience, Ben? Or
are we still talking about the same book now?
It was the first thing that came to my mind.
are we still live?
Yeah.
I hope not.
But Chris has said, I think, look, you mentioned before the freedom of the indies. Do you think on top of that story is more engaging too, as they don't have to rep to carry a book? I think we say this time and time again, like Ben's obviously Marvel through and through. I like my Marvel. Tom's Marvel. Andy's more indie and stuff. And I think I am honestly swaying more and more these weeks go on. I mean, we're on week 13 coming into week 14 next week. The more and more it goes on, I'm more looking forward to seeing what IDW, Boom Studios, Scout Comics, even Zenoscope are kind of tipping my fancy now, because obviously you've got some fantastic Aftershock. You've got fantastic covers by like Sun Kamanaki, who's an absolute peach, to be fair. But I mean, the indies are just killing it at the moment, and I think I'm still a Marvel fan. I still like my DC and stuff, but I'm more interested in reading indie.
There's a lot to be said for creative freedom. You know, I think you mentioned the word freedom. There's
we said that again.
A lot to be said to that. Yeah. 100%.
The way I see it is like Marvel and DC are completely and utterly stuck in this kind of box. Mm-hmm. This whole thing that they cannot get out of this box. They can't tweak their characters. They can't like play with the stories, because all of us are attached to the characters, and we all know how we would want them to be done. Mm-hmm. And if you look at Venom now, at the start when Donny Cates took over, he just exploded and kind of like went all over the place, which is why Venom became so good. Mm-hmm. Now in King in Black, they've really restricted him, and I feel like King in Black is some of the worst stuff he's done. If I'm honest, I think it's good, but it's not as good as it could have been. Not what I was expecting. But I think, you know, what the indies are doing, they're just unleashing it, mate. They're unleashing their inner geeks, mate. 100%.
Couldn't agree more.
Do you think there will ever be a time where Marvel just think, right, we've got the indie market like clipping on our heels, we need to kind of do something to change it up? Or do you honestly think they're so stuck in a rut where they're just like, it works for us, it's our bread and butter, we're just going to keep to it?
There's not enough of people like us, if you mean speaking out about it. There's too many people that buy into Marvel for the characters. They don't necessarily read the stories. They just buy the merchandise, which is why Marvel will never change their characters. Same as DC. They won't change their characters because it's a bit like, I suppose, if we looked at the wrestling as a kind of a different angle. If you look at John Cena, if they'd have ever made John Cena a bad guy, he'd have been a really good bad guy. But they were never going to do that because the bloke sells T-shirts.
Yeah.
In defence, they did bring him back as the Doctor of Thugonomics 2 years ago.
He did turn heel for about 2 or 3 matches, exactly. I think.
Yeah, it was literally the one appearance. But yeah, no, I see what you mean, Tom. I mean, Marvel kind of flirted, didn't they, with their version of the New 52 when they did the Ultimate Universe. And if you read some of those Ultimate stories, there, the first kind of volumes of stuff, it's amazing. Incredible. It's daring. They reinvented characters. They kind of didn't really care as well, like about repercussions of reinventing certain things. And it was fantastic, and it was compelling. And
the Hulk ate people in that series.
But then Disney bought them.
Yeah,
and that's what changed everything.
I think the problem, what Marvel would need, I think, and it will never happen, but I honestly think it should be a case of like, boom, 10 titles only. 10 titles only, that's it. Avengers, Fantastic Four, X-Men, like 10 titles, that's it. And really kind of simplify and home in on the universe sort of thing. But it will never happen because, as you say, people still buy the stuff.
Well, DC did it, didn't they? They literally had a purge and got rid of like quite a few.
But the problem is they purged, but then the New 52 was just like 52. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was. That's a lot.
I mean, being a Marvel reader, it's the tie-ins. Like, especially with King in Black, I thought, this is going to be his 5 runs. And it is up this week. Next Wednesday is King in Black number 5. So it does come to an end next week. But with that,
supposed to be so good.
Exactly.
It's like X of Swords. I built that up. Me and Ben even talked about it for weeks and weeks on end about how we wanted it to go, and it just didn't go the way we wanted it to go. They could have done so much with it, but having so many popular characters, they couldn't exactly go Game of Thrones with Marvel, because you can't kill off all the main characters. and let the little ones run loose. They just won't let it happen.
I would kill so many characters if I was in charge at Marvel. I would.
There's so many.
Them all.
Half of them are X-Men. Half of them are X-Men.
I think what needs to happen is take all the characters that you've got, like all the love for Captain America, Iron Man, even like Black Panther, you know, all the ones that are in the limelight, kind of just put them to one side and then start again, and like bring all the other ones through that you don't see a lot of, just for a little while, just for, you know, maybe like 6 months, and then see where you're at. Because I think
look at Superior Spider-Man. Look at Superior Spider-Man. That's literally what they did. They killed off Parker, had someone take his place, and it was debatably one of the best runs in the last kind of 10 years maybe or so. So, yeah, I agree. Here.
I'd put all my money in Venom and Strange Academy, if I'm honest.
Yes, Strange Academy is great.
You clearly do, Charlie.
Like, Strange Academy is awesome. Like, there have been a few, as Andy would say, filler issues, but again, obviously, it's your filler, isn't it? But again, like, Venom's coming to an end. Like, how's that going to end up? That might just add to the pile of absolute poo that Marvel are putting out. I mean, we mentioned this
sandwiched in between Silk issue #1 and Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, it might be all right.
There was a teaser this week. Put up the spoiler warning thing.
Right, hold on, so there we go.
Spoiler.
Right, spoiler warning. There was a teaser at the end of the King in Black Spider-Man book this week. Did you guys see that? And it said the symbiote Spider-Man, it will return. And then it had a Hulk logo. Disgust. Because it completely threw me off. I was like,
I didn't know if that was just a sidetrack. But
see, speaking about Hulk, you just reminded me, Ben. How bad was She-Hulk in the Man Thing book?
Oh, mate, her dialogue was awful.
Well, no. That's the point, though, isn't it? At the moment, she's gone reverted to like a old Hulk. Like, Hulk.
She's reverted to being a bit shit.
She was so much better with having the brain. I think She-Hulk. I don't think they should have taken her.
Yeah, and I think they're playing on that. Hey, listen, she's not the worst part of that book. Don't worry.
And as we obviously that was one of your comics. I mean, do you want to talk about it, because I kind of didn't read it, and now it was one of your comics. Would you?
Before we go on to this one, can I just say about Shardcraft?
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to say. I think what I liked about Shardcraft was Shadecraft. Sorry, not Shard.
Yeah, we weren't talking about Shardcraft. We're talking about Shadecraft.
I've been calling it Shadowcraft for about 3 days.
It's been a hard day. Sorry, guys. Shadecraft. So I was going to say that I felt like Shadecraft was almost 3 different episodes of a TV series. Yeah. I felt like I was invested in the first episode to see what she was like, how she's missed the kiss. Then the second episode was a bit more about her school life. Then the third episode was about her and her brother. And I just thought it was a really well put together. And I think it was so well written as a comic, and it was simple to follow. The artwork was stunning. And I just thought, yeah, this I could really get into. And I think issue 2, I'm going to get it. Issue 3, probably read that as well. I think it's really, really good. Definitely go out and get it.
100%. And the ending will bring you to tears. I wasn't expecting that, to be fair. I actually wasn't expecting how the end was. And there's some
I'm just waiting for Peter Pan to come along and be like, come on, guys, and reattach the shadows to his feet. And
that happens in Better Ray Bill. I think that happens at the end of the TV series that they're watching.
It's an epilogue.
I'm not sure. I think it's at the end of Hook. Is it at the end of Hook? Yeah, it is at the end of Hook. Rufio.
What a film. What a film.
But yeah, right. So come on, Ben. I want to hear your thoughts on Man Thing #1.
Listen, I was excited about this. I loved the kind of introduction. I actually quite liked the introduction we got to the Harrow. Is she called the Harrower? But at the same time, I kind of didn't really understand her motive massively. So actually, no, I didn't enjoy that. That was rubbish. The bit I did enjoy, I enjoyed the really brief kind of rewind of like who Tim Sallis was and you know how he became Man Thing. It was like a splash page with and it was really, and to be honest, I think they maybe could have extended that a few pages and then extended the kind of introduction to the Harrower a little bit more and made that clearer. The problem is it within 4 pages became just another Avengers book. It was like, and the story was so kind of King in Black in nature, like, oh, these things are popping up and oh, they're dangerous and oh, things are coming off them and attacking us. Like it's the same, like, you know, global Avenger Marvel threat trope. Like it was, and I just kind of immediately shut off from that point, really, in terms of my interest. I then got really lost when it kind of went to like being in his psyche, or Captain America got trapped inside Man Thing's head and Tim Sallis was there, and it was all the whole thing. It was just really unclear, really kind of cliche Avenger stuff, and yeah, it was awful. I was really looking forward to a kind of melodramatic, like old school horror monster movie type, you know, and it just wasn't that.
So we won't bother reading that then. But going back, like obviously we have our Thursday night poet. It is Gore Vidal, absolute diamond of a guy. Now we look forward to your comments every single week, Matt. And I am trying to, if you can reach out to me on Instagram, we would love to have you on the show. But I saw this is going back to the Marvel and DC, what we were talking about earlier. I saw 2 series with Ed Brubaker and Rick Remender, writers who started out writing for Marvel and DC, and they basically said that there wasn't a reason to write for them anymore. I think as readers, we're probably feeling that, because if the writers ain't even thinking there's any reason to write from, why would we even bother reading what they're putting out?
Yeah,
I mean, they're massive franchises at the moment, like with the likes of Boom Studios and IDW. They're kind of big fishes in little ponds. And obviously there's that saying, if you small fish in a small pond, it's not going to grow. But if you put a small fish in a big pond, it will grow. I just think with the more and more the stuff that these indie comics are pushing out, before you know it, they're going to be up there. And everyone's going to be kind of thinking, well, Marvel, DC are coming out this week, I'm going to go to indie. That might just be my thinking, but I think it is. And it's more accessible for the readers, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything to do with the characters. I think if anything, if you're a writer and you've got an opportunity to write for Marvel, some of the most famous characters out there, and you can't get it right, then it's either the writer or it's the editor.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you said about the Ultimate Universe earlier, Charlie. Like Brian Michael Bendis did an incredible job with the Ultimate Universe, and then as soon as they took him over to DC, and he's now writing Superman, it's some of the worst dribble I've ever read.
Blue, White, was it Blue, White, and Red? His latest one.
I think so, mate. Yeah, it's awful.
And then obviously the Brewbakers of this world want to retain creditor rights, and I think many of the best creators agree with him and won't work for the big 2. That may be a reason for lackluster Marvel and DC stories.
Yeah. Just churning them out, just keep them going. You can write anything and people are going to buy them, especially if you put a first issue on it.
I guarantee if they were to put out a blank covered Marvel comic that said, I don't know, Marvel New Avengers #1, and it was blank pages, it would sell.
I'd buy it. I want to write my own.
Well, you don't know, it could be an Ant-Man. You just can't see.
Well, sure, they put a book out with a cover that said Wednesday across it, and it sold out. So
yeah.
They can do anything.
I picked that up thinking it was a Wednesday Addams comic book, to be fair. That was really disappointing.
But that's enough. I think, with Shadecraft, it was good. Then we kind of got sidetracked, but it was a good thing. So it wasn't a good thing. It was a man thing, and we didn't read that, which is good. I think next we might as well go on. Let's go on to Sea of Sorrows. Andy,
look at that cover.
Now, guys, obviously this was issue 4. Now I'm up to scratch because me and Andy talk about this, and massively is wicked. Tom, Ben, did you read it?
I did.
Yeah, so I'll just quickly get my thoughts out of the way because they're more kind of overall thoughts, to be honest, because I literally read 4 issues today. So I've loved the kind of dark tones throughout and how the dark tone of the story is matched with the dark tones of the artwork and the coloring and things like that. So I thought that was really nice how the whole feel of it is reflected in the artwork, even just on this cover. The speech kind of flows and engages, even though it's like a period piece, which is quite impressive because usually when it was like 1928, I was like, oh no, I'm done, I'm out. But it was a lot better than I was thinking. The only thing is it has a real like lack of variety, I think, in terms of like settings and like characters and stuff. So because of that, you kind of get this feeling of like claustrophobia a little bit and almost like you're at the risk of getting kind of bored or angsty because it's all set in one place, all on the boat, all, you know. But at the same time, then I thought to myself, well, actually, are you supposed to feel that? Because that's what the characters are feeling. And that's the whole paranoia starts kicking in and things like that. So I actually then thought, no, actually, that's quite clever. So yeah, I think it's a very clever book. It's probably something that like Gore Vidal would enjoy, and I might struggle with because I'm a little bit more basic. But it's very nice to look at. That was kind of one of my biggest kind of takeaways from it. I really enjoyed kind of looking at everything and yeah, really interesting take on. My dad collects mermaids. Random fact for you: Keith Crampton is a mermaid collector. Yes, in his bathroom,
what
about 150 pictures of mermaids. So if anyone's wondering why I've got a fascination for boobies, it's my dad's mermaid.
I always thought there was something a bit fishy about you, Ben.
Hey, oh God, this guy. So yeah, those were kind of my overall thoughts, but it would be interesting to see what like Andy and Charlie thought of just the 4th issue sort of thing.
Oh, cheers.
No. I mean, did you do the same as me though? Didn't you? You read the whole thing today.
No, I've read issue 1 and 2. I've just missed issue 3.
In which case, I'm interested to hear what you think on that as well.
That's right, mate. I'm just going to bow out. See you later.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah, this was my pick for this week. I've been following this series since the very beginning. Rich, I'm going to butcher the name, Duke, is that how you pronounce it? And Alex Cormack does the art and some of the colouring. The covers for this is what will draw you towards this comic. From the very beginning, every single cover is absolutely fantastic. An absolute nightmare to get a 9.8 CGC if you're that way inclined, I would imagine. But the story is ultimately about the kind of aftermath of the Great War, and it's all about all the rescue salvage boats that go out to try and salvage the gold that's been left.
Is that in 1978, Lee? It was nice.
in joke. And this story from issue 1, as Ben says, it's just been centered around on this boat, the SS Vagabond, I think is the name of the boat.
Yeah.
And the premise is the tension that builds up in the boat. So it's the tension that's on the boat and the tension that's underneath the boat. And without getting into spoilers, it's about the inner turmoil of all the people that are on the boat who are fighting with each other. Because they know what's beneath and they think that they're fighting for the gold, but they're actually not, because there's something lurking in the depths of the ocean, and we get to see what that is. Not Man-Thing, no, definitely not Man-Thing. And I would highly recommend, guys, if you haven't read this book, to pick up all the issues. It's a hard book if you just pick up issue 4 or issue 3 to understand the context of it. But we've got one more issue to go. And for me, overall, this has been my top pick of 2021 so far.
Yeah, wow. And I think when we do review issue number 5, it's going to be a definitely good show that you guys are going to want to tune into. So that'd be a good one. But for me, like, I read Black Label, The Plunge, and there's quite a few similarities between that. Did anyone read that?
The what?
Which one? Sorry.
The DC Black Label, The Plunge.
Yes.
Oh, is that was
It's called
the
Plunge.
Superb.
Yes. So,
I
and
see, I read the issue 1.
that's
I
what
did actually
kind
enjoy
of,
that. I completely forgot to pick up
Yeah.
issue 2.
that was Joe Hill's. Joe Hill did
Joe
like,
Hill,
a collaboration with DC Black Label, and that is kind of what swayed me towards this, because it's quite similar in pieces. There's something lurking beneath. It's a great story. Like, the only thing is, I can never say this word, continuity.
Continuity.
That's right, continuity. I'm a Cockney twat. Continuity. So between issue 2 and 3, I think there was a flash, but I was like, I don't really know. Is it now or is it present? Because I think it's one of the characters, Sonny Jim or something, had disappeared, and then he returns and stuff. So other than that, it's been a solid read throughout, to be fair. It has been a solid read. It's kind of like a thriller / horror comic that I'm really loving at the moment. I love my horror comics at the moment.
Do you find, Charlie, that whenever you're looking at some of the panels that are in the ocean, that they're quite busy and you spend quite a lot of time actually, like, what's going on? And it's not until you sort of maybe, take the comic back a little bit and take it all in that you actually understand and appreciate the art that's in there, because it's very, very busy. But some of the art is just spot on. Yeah,
especially with the shipwrecks, I found myself looking. I think that's the smart way that Alex Cormack's done it, is because he's done it so intricate. For God's sake, intricately.
You're right, mate.
No, yeah, I'm just tired. Intricately, that the way that you have to look at the page, you think, did I see that right? And then you look at it and then you kind of go in and stuff. But that's a sign of a great artist.
Absolutely. I think every time you look at the pages as well, you'll see something new. And I guess that's kind of what he's hoping for, is that you'll go back and reread it and experience it again. But
I did write down, I said the tension in this issue was great, and excuse the pun, but it pulls you in deeper and deeper.
Oh,
nice.
All day.
Nice.
But I mean, is there this Sea of Sorrows? You said there's an issue. Yeah, there's one more issue left of it. Do we know if there's going to be any more of it? Is it like, is this the first arc, or is there going to be any more? Andy, you seem to be the man in the know.
I don't know, but I would love exactly. I'm not in the know. I would love to think that there is going to be another arc to this, because it feels as if I'm concerned about how much they can cram into the last issue, because it feels as if there's so much more. So they'll obviously end it in a cliffhanger. But I guess what we could maybe try and do is get Rich on the show, and we can ask him that.
Yeah, why not? I think So let's set that up. Let's.
It's an open invite, Rich, if you're watching.
If Rich do X in the chat, it's an open invite for you to jump on next week or whenever issue number 5 comes out. But here,
Tom, what were your thoughts?
I thought it was really good, and I thought the tension builds from the get-go, right from the beginning. And the best thing about this book is that from issue 1 all the way through, you've had this constant tension building throughout the whole thing, and the emotion is incredible. The mood of the characters, it's all building to something massive. But I don't know if you guys found, but obviously this is all to do with like the siren song.
Yes, it is.
So I kind of feel like the book is written that way. Like I feel like I'm reading a song about something that would be sung. Like I've kind of got involved, if that makes sense. I'm kind of, you know how the siren song is supposed to kind of draw you in to the point where you like don't think about anything else, just what she's talking about. I feel like that's how this book has drawn me in. I don't care about anything else going around me. I just want to read the book and get to the end. And I think, as Andy was saying, I think this finishes with issue 5, and that's it. That's the end of its story arc. That'll be your first trade paperback, and then they'll do like issue or episode 2, which will start again with issue 1, but it'd be like Sea of Sorrows issue, like episode, like film 2. I don't know how you would describe it, but yeah, I mean, the tension is ridiculous in this. And the mood, like, I mean, I don't like horror comics. I don't really like horror at all, but for me, I'm gripped. I just want to. I'm on the edge of my seat. I just want to see what else is going to happen.
Did you notice how the tension changed completely? And I won't spoil it, so you don't have to put up the spoiler thing. But whenever there was a particular romantic moment, and it was a full page splash, which I was like, "Whoa, where did that? That was a bit left field." But it sort of tension, then just broke that tension, and then you were back in again. So it was a roller coaster, guys.
It is. I 100% agree with you on that one, mate.
Tom, I
How
think
does
that was
the siren song go? The name of the ship was the Billy O.B. Oh,
I like that guy.
yeah, no, I haven't heard that version, Ben. If you could send me this, the link to Spotify, I'll happily listen to it. But Tom, I think
It's blocked.
that was a great analogy of it. I think
she's on TikTok. The Siren.
Did she? Go for it. But Tom, that was honestly, if I was looking at this thinking there's a horror comedy I want to read, I'd get on that after what you just said, mate. That sounds
because I think the best way to describe it, it's a horror comic that's not it's like it is like the Siren song. Literally, I'm just engaged right from the get go. Like, she started singing, I'm listening.
Yeah,
and it's a psychological horror, isn't it?
Absolutely,
it is.
100%.
It is, but it is very much like Plunge. The way that
Plunge.
Yeah, Plunge.
Sorry,
I said Plunge. For me, there's clear similarities there. They're both set in the ocean. There's something dark beneath it. There's something gripping everyone. They're kind of, without spoiling it, they're kind of looking at different entities and stuff like that. But what would you say is better, Sea of Sorrows or Plunge? I'm going to go with Sea of Sorrows. I've got to go with that.
Sea of Sorrows, 100%.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Sea of Sorrows, but that's only purely because I've only read one issue of Plunge. So I can't really give you a definitive answer. In all fairness,
off the back of this, I would go and read the rest of them. I think it's 6 issues.
Yeah,
but it's definitely worth it. Okay. Plunge. Did you change the P for the C and miss out? But yeah, I mean, it's been pretty consistent throughout tonight. To be fair,
Ben is just like so disappointed in me right now.
He is so disappointed. But I think the last one we've definitely all read. We've definitely all been enjoying it, and it is Nuclear Family. I think that sums us up, doesn't it?
That's so yeah.
Is it say Unleashed or Nuclear?
But I think that's a load of our fans with their hands out going, no more, please stop.
It's been an hour.
It's been an hour.
No, that's a YouTube bosses just ready to shoot us.
Don't unleash these geeks on us. Stop it.
It.
But guys, this has been the fact that it was set in 1975 during the Warm War. It was
Don't joke, guys. Basically, if you missed it, Charlie the other day on a show said that he thought it was set in 1976 or 8 or whatever.
75.
And I 75. Either way, the 70s. So I corrected him and said, no, it's the 50s. And then, interestingly enough, there was a panel in this that pretty much features the same conversation that we had, which is very amusing.
I like how you're like, we were on some show. You were on my show.
No. Mate, to be honest, all of these merge into one for me. I'm just along for the ride. Doesn't matter if I'm unboxing things on Andy's channel, Killer Comics or Key Show. I'm just a noble passenger.
Hi there.
Oh,
mute.
Probably
This isn't your first rodeo, Charlie.
There's always one technical issue, isn't there? Ain't the
probably
internet.
like I was getting into it then as well. He's getting really passionate, like.
I was just singing. It was a shit. But to see, I was going into it, mate. But for God's sake, lost my train of thought now.
I've just imagined us all just breaking into harmony, like a really perfectly arranged harmony of the Weller Man song.
It was going so well. But anyway, so again, the last 2 comics are indie. They're the strongest reads of the week. And this is wicked. This is honestly, and I think Tom was right because he mentioned it, that there's something else going on other to this story. There's something else that's tying into it, and it fits perfectly into this comic. I don't know if Tom has some like his smirk on his face. I don't know if he's got some inside information about it. He seems like he has.
I don't know anything, mate. I was like, all I want to say is like I called it. It's not just a time skip; it's a reality skip, in my opinion.
Now, I just think this is phenomenal. I think, as before, the artwork was so beautifully kind of clean, and I know that you guys said that you think it's modern, but I still disagree. I still think it's kind of perfect for that 50s like era that it was kind of meant for. Although that being said, it does. Do you know who it reminds me of? Adam Hughes.
Yes.
His artwork, but it's just really, really kind of effective for the story that it's telling. And I was saying about Shadow. What was the shade under the shade? That book,
Shadecraft.
Shadecraft. Thank you.
At least I was close by Shardcraft. You're like shade under the hill, you know, shade.
I'll get there. I said about that flowing. This flowed even more. Like I've never kind of. It was like my eyes couldn't even move fast enough for how well it flowed, like with the speech and everything. It was just so kind of punchy and well written in that sense. It was like speech bubble to speech bubble, just had a really kind of nice natural speed to it. The only thing I would say, criticism, his family and his wife are so beige. Like they need beige. Like
Beige.
Sorry, I thought for a start I thought you said vein, and then I was like, did he say beige?
Beige.
I thought you said bulge.
Beige.
Bulbs, Bulbasaur.
Like boring. Like they need fleshing out. Like I don't know about you guys, but they just seem like they've got no character. It seems like it's just kind of.
What was you saying? What was it? What are they?
Beige.
There's a clip.
So yeah, and even though after the second issue we're all kind of left thinking, you know, WTF, like you know, what's going on, there's clearly kind of some explanation to come. I'm kind of okay with that because it's written so well that like I'm kind of enjoying the ride for what it is. Thank you, Firehawk. Beige. Beige.
He's going off on one now. There's a beige bulge.
They were beige.
I give you really well. I make notes. I really well thought out, like, you know, reviews of these things.
Beige bulge. Echo.
Beige.
Echo.
But no, I get what you mean. Like his family was just like, "Oh, is this really happening? Like, what are we doing, Dad?" No.
Yeah, there's just a bit like there's just nothing to them.
It's so more intriguing than the first one because obviously we do come across. No, we don't come across. I'm just trying to find the button.
Bulge.
One of the main characters from the first issue is in the second issue, and do you think he's doing that on purpose, or do you genuinely think he doesn't know?
Oh, genuinely doesn't know.
Doesn't know. Yeah, 100%.
I just think like they've lost. I'm going to put that up again. They've lost 10 years.
I don't know if they've lost 10 years or if they've moved.
But how did they get there? Like it wasn't like if he was like working on some kind of machine in his attic. It wasn't a machine. It was just like a you know kind of coding thing.
That one.
So I kind of just don't get how they, you know, how they've travelled to where they are now, sort of thing. That's the one thing that's making me scratch my head. Either that or lice.
Definitely not lice.
Haven't got any hair, mate.
It might be your bulge.
I enjoyed this book, but I was utterly confused by it all. I enjoyed the first issue a lot more than I did the second issue, and I think it's just because it was like almost a continuation of the uncertainty of the first issue. It's like I wanted something, I wanted to understand it a little bit more. And from a character perspective, it's like I still don't know who these characters are, apart from all being part of the one family. So yeah, but I just wanted to spoiler look at that for a page.
Very the Matrix. You know, in the Matrix where they go in. Well, there's a city underground. Very cool. A bit like Demolition Man as well. I like that. I like
100%.
Right back to those.
But again, because I was so intrigued by it and I didn't know what was going on, I want to find out. So I'm going to read the third issue, and if that's what they're going for, then they've done their job. So.
But I noticed that cover is taken from issue number 2.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's literally a panel, isn't it?
That is a panel from issue number 2. It's going to be interesting to see if they keep that going through. But I think we've ended on a high note. Like to be fair, the last 2 comics have been pretty decent. I'm definitely looking to pick up.
So basically, don't let me and Ben choose anything.
Well,
we need to
try
get
and
that
represent
tumbleweed.
Marvel and DC. You know, try and just desperately make them feel relevant still.
Andy, have we seen how naturally this has formed though? Like Indie up here, and then Marvel.
Marvel in the basement.
Why don't we one of the weeks, guys, leave it for the chat or for the good people of Instagram to decide one of the books that we read, so we can maybe have like a wild card book.
I like it.
Yeah, go for it.
Because we're all going to pick books that we think that we like personally.
Let's give the little people some power.
No, I don't want Ant-Man. I don't want Ant-Man involved.
Let's unleash. Let's unleash
the chat.
viewers.
And on that note, I'm going to unleash something that everyone looks forward to every Thursday.
Here we go. This is my favourite part.
Peach of the week. Peach of the week.
I was so close to the mic there, wasn't I? But I think it's only me and Ben that have managed to pull them out this week, because you two have been very busy. So Ben was
like work for a living.
Ben was on it this week, and he sent in this beauty.
To be fair, like
look how close you are to that, Ben. Ben, look how close.
I was going to say, I had to kind of move away then. I could smell what she had for lunch. I mean, it's not hard. If you pick up Batman,
Yes, it is.
Tom's that. It's
See ya.
Bless him. Not everyone can handle it. If you pick up an issue of the new Batman Catwoman series, you'll get 5 peaches a page. You really will. So Catwoman, if she's not in her suit, she's usually in knickers and a small top. So don't blame me. Blame the writers, the artists. It sells itself.
And I think on that note, we've got a Kelly Simeo is a close friend of Ross Ritchie, so thank you for checking in.
What's up, Kelly?
Yep. And then we have
what a fantastic time for Kelly to join the
perfect timing, wasn't it?
Don't tell Ross to do this.
This is the level, Kelly, that this show is at.
But on that note, right, so we go back and we were speaking about how good these covers, we see these covers earlier, and I think everyone can agree that this certain lady here.
This one's on notquitemint.com, by the way.
And I'm just going to buy the cover for this one.
There you go. Literally, the whole city is reflecting off her ass. I want to say, though, it's poor representation for Marvel, because we should be getting some Miles butt, some Morales cheek action, and we're not. And I'm disappointed.
I'd say that's less Miles and more piles.
Don't say piles. Don't talk to me about it.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think that was the best thing about this comic. Is the fact that it's
not that bad.
It's a gorgeous arse. It is.
I think the color work is fantastic too.
It is. Error, system error, overload.
You haven't seen it. I don't know if you can go back to the full spread, Charlie.
There we go.
You've got there's a lot of tags and stuff down the one side.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot, and then on the cans it says unknown comics. So they've got a lot of references. Kale and Noog has done a lot of references to unknown comics. Who are the guys who commissioned this one? So there's quite a few like little hidden Easter eggs in this actual cover itself.
And it's sponsored by Latex.
Yeah.
Or not quite into the Latex is now called.
And graffiti. So Latex and graffiti. But yeah, I'm just going to flash out there because that was gorgeous.
Yes, nice.
There we go.
Gorgeous.
But that was
gorgeous.
Lovely jubbly.
If we don't have if we don't have a Nightwing bum or some other kind of bum, it gets really weird very quickly. That feature.
I don't think anything so far since we've been doing this Peach of the Week segment. I don't think anything comes close to Nightwing's arse in the first one.
It's like they literally drew like his silhouette like that. That was the Nightwing, but it was enjoyable.
I think he's forgetting the little dog from Stray Dogs.
Did you read issue
well.
2 a couple of weeks ago? I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
great.
did. Yeah, it was all right.
I liked it. But on that note, we're like nearly approaching an hour and 20 minutes. I think it gets to that time of the night where we go round and we say what we've got coming up. Andy, I'm going to go to you first, mate. I don't know why I do this every week because I never know what you're going to say, and I don't even think you know what you're going to say. So with that.
No, you're absolutely correct. I don't know why you do it either, Charlie. So, yeah, if anybody wants to check my content out, you can find me on Perpetual.comics, which is just here on Instagram, and on the YouTubes at Perpetual Comics. And I'm at 150 subs at the minute, working towards 200. And then I'm going to do a giveaway because that's what everybody seems to do. So, yeah, that will be cool. I've got some things planned at the minute with a few other creators, and I've got something really fantastic planned with these 3 guys that I'm with tonight, which we're really looking forward to unleashing in everybody's faces. But other than that, I'll just be Mr. Impromptu, and you'll see me when you see me. But thanks to Charlie for inviting me back on again.
Thank you very much.
Shh, Andy, shh, don't touch. Shh.
I meant to say that.
Geeks.
Thomas, what have you got planned this week, sir?
Right, okay. So first up, in approximately 2 hours, we will be launching our biggest Not Quite Mint sale on the notquitemint.com website over Easter. So you get a chance to get 20% off everything if you use Easter sale as the code at the end. But actually, everything that's in stock is 50% off. So anything I actually have in stock, you can have 50%. You don't have to put any code in. It's just automatic. On the YouTube side of things, next Tuesday, I'll be back together with Unleashing with these 3 guys on my Key show, where we'll be talking about what Key comics you want to pick up for the Wednesday New Comic Book Day. We've also got a really big guest coming up on notquitemint.com. If I can wangle a date, I've got a very, very big special guest to do an interview with, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. And then, yeah, like Andy said, there's something very special coming that we're going to unleash at some point, so look out for that.
Exciting times. And then on to everyone's favorite attention seeking. Well, we're all attention seeking geeks, but you're the best one, Ben.
Thank you. I'm the favourite one. Yes, I will be back on Sunday afternoon, 5 p.m. GMT, for my usual strange take on the week's new comic book covers. So join me for that at 5 o'clock. And I'll be on Tom's channel on Tuesday, Not Quite Mint, going through the key comics coming out that week. And of course, I will be back here when I'm allowed and invited. And yeah, I mean, what we've got planned, I don't even think you're ready for, let alone me. And I'm part of it. It's exciting.
I mean,
beige.
Bulge.
Very beige.
But we've kind of got it sorted now. So obviously we've got Ben's videos that come out on a Sunday. If you haven't checked them out, seriously, watch them and watch last week's because it had me in stitches. Perfect way to end your Sunday afternoon going into the evening, and then you watch it on replay, and then it sets you up for the Monday for my show at 12 p.m. on Monday. And then that follows in from the comics that I go through, all of them. And then we follow into Tom's show on a Tuesday. So you're kind of getting it from every single angle on a Sunday, Monday, and a Tuesday. And then we review them comics that we've spoken about on the Thursday. And then we have Andy.
And then in between, whatever you bloody well like it, Andy will drop in something, whether it be like some kind of unboxing or just to see his beautiful face.
Basically, you can't escape us. You can't.
It's the Unleashed Network.
It is. But honestly, it was great and good show. Be sure to clean and press your man thing. Are we still talking about the comic here, Rich, or are we talking about something else?
Yeah.
But I will say that for next week, there is no Killer Comic Show on the Thursday because we are going on the Friday night because we have a very special guest. We have got DC, Marvel, Aftershock, Boom Studios artist. We've got the one and only John Jiang. He will be joining us for Geeks to talk about everything he's been working on, what he's got coming up. If you ain't checked him out yet on Instagram, make sure you do. He's kind of doing these comic covers battles against different artists and stuff like that, and people. It's pretty decent to see like the outcomes of people, whether they decide to like choose his artwork or he's going up against like Tom Taylor and stuff like that. So it is pretty good. He's recently done, I think it was a Crossover 5 cover. He's done some Transformers stuff as well, so do check him out. It's going to be a decent show. He's very much looking forward to it, and I'm very much appreciated that he's been able to change his time so we can get Tom on again. I don't know how I'm going to calm my nerves having Tom on for 2 weeks in a row, but it's been another great show, guys. So thanks for coming
Honestly,
on.
I've got to say, mate, it's one of my highlights of my week. It always is, this show, every single week, whether I'm on it or not. It's one of my highlights. So thank you ever so much for having me back.
Mate, it's us four now. The Killer Comic Show is us four. It might be on my channel, but it is us four. It wouldn't be the Killer Comic Show without you guys. So thanks for making it possible. And Andy, I've got a question for you from NH5316. Any panels of the Pints this weekend?
Not this weekend, guys. As you know, James is changing some dirty nappies, and not Sean's, funnily enough. But on the 10th of April, I'm planning on doing something, getting some of the guys together, have a few beers over on my channel. We might have a little panels and pints session. So keep an eye out on Instagram, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to organise something.
And regarding John Jiang, Rich has just said he's just pre-ordered his last Ronin stuff.
Yeah, that went up today.
That last Ronin cover is absolutely insane, and his Joker cover he did is also beautiful. Yeah, well, not beautiful. It's horrible, but it's brilliant.
It's a very distinctive art. You can see like he's very distinctive, and it's going to be interesting, like looking at his stuff and
how. You've seen his crossover that he did.
It's
a Gundam.
Yeah,
beautiful.
And there we go. But I think on that note, I think we'll just say goodbye. Have a great it's bank holiday weekend, so everyone should be funny with the COVID restrictions lifting. I think everyone's kind of slowly getting back to normal now. We've kind of kept you busy for the past 13, 14 weeks we've been doing it, and long may it continue. I think the first ever time us lot see each other will be in November at Thought Bubble. It's going to be messy. I'm sure there'll be a couple of live streams happening while we're
yes.
Yeah, but yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be good. And on that note, guys, it's been fantastic, and we shall see you all next week.
Echo.
Bye. Echo.